Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 25 years, as she developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you to grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We have a bunch of callers on hold, and we're going to get to them in just a minute. But first, it is the 5th of November, which is the first show in November of 2020, and you know what that means. Da, 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 da. I give away a free session. So I always feel like a game show host when I do this. Behind door number 3 is the winner. And this month, the winner's name is Tia Green 1. And what I do is I'll take these people who sign up for my blog at AskJulieRyan.com. You got to do 3 things. Sign up for my blog at AskJulieRyan.com. Follow me on Instagram and leave a review on the podcast. And this review comes from Tia Green 1. So Tia Green 1, you have won a 1-hour, $155 value free session with me. And we can talk about whatever you want. Past lives, talk to a deceased loved one. I can do a medical scan on you. I can do a medical scan on your pets. We can, what else? We can talk to your spirit guides. We can talk to your angels. We can do whatever in our hour together. And here's what Tia Green 1 says. Quote, I've been listening to this podcast for over 3 years. Julie is amazing. Her medical intuition and psychic abilities are a gift to her listeners, students, and everyone who's asked for her help. I've since graduated from Julie's angelic attendance training, and this podcast continues to help me improve and expand what I've learned in class. This podcast is a beautiful public healing service. Thank you, Julie. So Tia, email me, Julie at AskJulieRyan.com, and we will find a date and time that works with your schedule. What I do is I'll take the reviews, and then I'll put them in a little bag, and then I choose one. I pick one out of, it's like I'm picking it out of a hat, but I use a Ziploc bag instead. So I know that's not as glamorous, but what the heck, it works. All right, let's go to the phones, and our first caller is Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you? You're welcome. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Norwich in the UK.
All right, so it's really late there. What time is it?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for staying up to call in this evening.
No, I'm relieved actually for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Please tell us what's going on that's got you up in the middle of the night.
Well, my husband's been very ill. He's had several strokes, allegedly, and he's been poorly for several years. He's been in a care home for the last 5 years or so, and he's been in lockdown for the last 3 months, so I haven't been allowed to see him. And now he's been admitted to hospital again. I think you reviewed him a little while ago and thought that his spirit was completely in his body. Recently, because of the recent illness, he's had a chest infection. He's been very poorly, and he seems to have progressed into a stage where the doctors think he's going to die. And I think I feel quite frightened about losing him. And there's another part of me who knows very much about Barbara Ann Brown, she knows very much about Eben Alexander and Anita Mujani, and I try to console myself by dreaming stories that it's not really happening, and that maybe there's something else that can happen that can help. He used to be an anaesthetist, so he was very, very conscious of consciousness, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And he's used hypnotic knowledge and various other experiences during his life to save other people's lives. And he's also saved his own a number of times. And I just know that there's something about him that's very special and that has sort of powers that one wouldn't believe unless one knew. And when we were in the hospital, he insisted I took my accordion in to play to him, and I took the accordion in, and it was amazing that one of the other patients on the stroke ward had a catharsis during the music and said, "Oh my goodness." And Max said to me, "You better go and talk to him." And I said, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that." But he called me over and I went to see him, and he said, "I don't know what you've done to me." And I said, "What do you mean? I'm so sorry." And he said, "No," he said, "I had a lot of tears." And he said, "I had a stroke and my arm was paralyzed." And he said, "Look, I can move my fingers since you're playing," because it was just so emotionally moving.
Wow.
And it was like I was absolutely gobsmacked. And then last night when I went to see Max, I thought I was reversing the car to go and see him, and I felt this huge bump and this noise, and I thought, "Oh my God, I've hit the car behind me." And so I stopped the car and went back to put a notice on there saying, "I'm terribly sorry, here are my details." And when I went back to look at the car, it was perfect. I still left a note on there in case I'd caused damage, and nobody rang up or anything. And somehow it must have been a flashback, or I must have been so upset about Max that I wondered what was happening to my consciousness. So there's something's going on that I'm not quite sure about within me, and I think it's either I'm picking up the fear of my husband's passing, or I'm channeling into my own fear of a situation. And I just wondered if there's anything you could do to help, really.
Sure. What I've done, Barbara, is I've gotten Max on my radar while you've been talking, and what that means is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit. I close my eyes, I watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama, and it hooks into Max actually in the UK. And then I can see where Max is if he's in one of the phases of transition that he's dying. He is in phase 4 right now. And what that looks like, Barbara, is his spirit is out of his body. It's attached onto the top of his head. It looks like a bubble that you'd see in a cartoon caption. His parents are at his feet. And there was a circle of angels, big old angels around him that has now opened up into a horseshoe up near his head. It's pretty big. So let's ask him the questions that I always ask. Max, are you ready to go? No. Are you in pain? He's saying not really. What do you need? More time. So
yes, that was when I went to see him today. He had sparkly eyes, and I couldn't really believe that he was ready to transition.
Yeah, I don't think he is. And just because he's in phase 4 now, Barbara, doesn't mean that he's going to go forward. In the next several days, we'll be able to tell if he's moving forward, if he goes into the different phases. What I'm talking about, for those of you that are unfamiliar, the 12 phases of transition we all go through as we're dying, whether it happens instantly, like in the case of a homicide or a suicide, or whether it happens over days, weeks, months, years. And so there are graphics for the 12 phases of transition on my website, askjulieryan.com, where you can go see them, and you can even pull down a chart of them if you want. And they're described in detail in my book, Angelic Attendants. So right now, Barbara, I think the best thing you can do is, it seems to me like it's a gift that he's in the hospital because you can go see him. Whereas when he was in the nursing home, you weren't able to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The care home has actually closed down because of lockdown. So I can't get in, and it looks as if they've got a couple of cases of COVID there. So it's probably it is a gift, I know, but there's also there's a couple of issues. One is that his sister is a bit of a problem in terms of she thinks I'm mentally ill. And she doesn't want to have anything to do with me because I'm alleged to be toxic. That's one thing. And then there's another situation where Max hadn't been treated very well in the care homes. And he told me that he'd been abused in the toilet. And I'm in a bit of a muddle about how to handle that kind of side of things, really, because I want it to be best for him, really.
Well, you'll be able to figure that out, because I think he's going to be in the hospital for a little bit of time, and then I think you'll be able to figure that out. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ask Julie Ryan show. Let's go back to the phones, and I believe our next caller is Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Sarah.
Thanks a lot for taking my call. Hello. How are you?
Sarah, can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hi. Randall's going to turn off the music here in just a second, I'm hoping, so that we can hear you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. There we go.
Me?
Yes, now I can. Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks a lot for taking my call.
You're welcome. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Germany, and I'm in Berlin, but right now I'm actually with my dad in southern Germany because he's very sick. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what is it, about 2 in the morning there?
Yes. So it's 1 hour later than in the UK.
Is it about 2 a.m. there?
Yeah, 2 a.m.
I think I just lost you.
Thanks a lot. So I have two short questions, if possible. Okay. I wanted to ask if you could maybe first scan my dad. He has cancer, and has been very hard. He has had multiple surgeries, operations, everything, and we had really been hoping that he might recover again, but now new metastases have built, and he's too weak to try doing chemotherapy again. He almost died after just one session. So I wanted to...
What kind of cancer does he have, Sarah?
So he has colon cancer, and it had also built metastases both in the pancreas and the liver.
Oh, boy. Okay. What's his name?
His name is Ulrich. It's an old-fashioned German name.
So you better spell that for me.
I'm pretty sure he won't allow him to be scanned, but maybe if you can say if he's already in a phase or anything I can do to help him, because it's so hard. And my brother's just 19, so it's it's really hard.
I'm so sorry. All right, I'm going to connect to you, and then from you to your dad. Spell your dad's name for me.
Yeah, it's Ulrich.
Okay, so we would pronounce that as Ulrich over here, but you pronounce it Ulrich?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I know that name. All right, it's usually a last name that I've seen, but got you. All right, so I've got you, and from you I'm going to your dad. Yeah, he's in phase 7. of 12, Sarah. And phase 7 looks like his spirit is out of his body, like Max, Barbara's husband, the one we just talked about. And he has his parents' spirits are at his feet. He has angels in a horseshoe out from them. And then he has several rows of deceased family and friends, spirits that are there. And he has angels on either side of his spirit bubble. And these angels are big. They look like big old guardian angels to me, but I'm a Catholic schoolgirl, 12 years of Catholic school.
Yeah.
So it's really a glorious scene. I know this is heart-wrenching for you. Let's ask him what he needs. Are you ready to go? Yes, he's saying. Are you in pain? Yes. What do you need, my family? He just needs you guys around him. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, Sarah, you just ask the question, what phase is my dad in? You're going to get an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara, if you're still listening too, I see you are. You're still on my dashboard. If you're still listening, you say, what phase is Max in? What phase is my dad in? And you're going to get an answer, and it's going to come in within a second. And then you can refer to the chart on my website with the graphics, and it will give you a picture. Or if you have my book, you can see it there too. Okay. The other thing for both you and Barbara, look for the miracles as you guys go through this. They will be plentiful. There will be little miracles, like Barbara, like what you told us about that other stroke patient who could move his hand after you played the accordion. Sarah, same for you. There will be little miracles that will continue to happen as this unfolds. And remember, too, that you can talk to him telepathically. If it gets to the point where he's not able to communicate verbally, say something to him in your head. He can hear you. You can say something to him out loud, too. He will be able to hear you, and he'll respond. And again, it'll come in within a second. When you doubt what you're getting, then, that's coming out of you just don't believe that he's communicating with you, but he can and he will. It comes in within a second. Okay?
Yeah, I really try that. It's just so I really tried to get him to get a reading or something, but he doesn't believe in it. He's completely against it. So I'm really worried that he kind of feels all alone.
Yeah. The other thing to remember is we all decide when we go, where we go, how we go, who's with us when we go. And our spirit decides all that. So there isn't really anything that any of us can do in the end. We think we can. We think we can help them and we can make suggestions, but it's all their decision, always. And so keep that in mind, that his spirit is in control and it's doing what it needs to do, what's in his best interest to do too. So you may want to share the illustrations with your brother, and that may give him comfort. I find that that's very comforting to families when they see those.
I will do that. Thanks a lot, Julie. And
you're welcome.
If possible, I wanted to ask if you could just also quickly scan me, because I had 2 private sessions with you already, and we found out that I have so much yeast everywhere in my body that's causing all my abdominal pain and insane pain in my bladder, and in my bladder it's still so bad. It literally feels as if my bladder is just raw, and as if I would constantly put kind of acid on it.
Okay. Well, Sarah, I will scan you during the break, and everybody stay with us. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Let's go back to the phones, and our next caller is Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi. Can you
How
hear
are
me?
you this evening? I can.
Okay, good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
Roseville, California.
All right. Are all the fires done up there?
Yeah, it seems so. The air's been much clearer. We're finally getting back to normal temperatures and good quality air. So,
Wonderful.
it's been a long summer.
Sounds like it. I think it's been a long year for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you got a question for me?
I do. My one of my cousins he's been battling cancer, and they came and said, like last week, they said all his tests were good. He was recently diagnosed like this summer, and they did heavy duty chemo and everything on him. And then as of last week, they said he was cancer free.
Mm-hmm.
But suddenly they were talking about he's having memory issues, he's having all these issues. And as of a couple of days ago, they said he was in the hospital and he was being restrained, he's being combative. The doctors can't find out what's wrong with him. I don't know if it was a reaction from all of the chemo that they did or what. And they sent a picture of him today of me, and I don't even recognize him. He's not communicating. They say he's just spending a lot of time in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know if there was a way, if you could sort of let me know what's going on.
Yeah. What's his name, Anna?
His name is Pat.
Pat. And where is he?
He's in Walla Walla, Washington.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to watch a laser beam hook into you in Roseville, and then it's going to go up to Walla Walla, which, if I remember correctly, is on the eastern part of the state, correct?
Yes.
I mean, the eastern part of the state,
well,
right?
Sort of,
okay.
It's more east, south,
kind of in the middle.
Eastern.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So got him. Yeah, he's in phase 8. Gosh, 3 questions in a row here.
8.
He's in phase 8.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I
phase 8.
This is where, yeah. Okay. So phase 8.
Phase 8
we
looks like,
hopeful.
Anna, phase 8 looks like the spirit bubble is out of his head, like what I've talked about with Sarah's dad and Barbara's husband. And he has angels on either side of the spirit bubble, and the horseshoe of angels at his feet that are anchored by his parents, deceased parents, and if his parents are still alive, then it's his grandparents.
No, they're both deceased.
They're both gone. Okay, and then lots of family and friends, spirits are there. I call that the Welcome to Heaven Committee, and they're there, and they come in and they greet us, and then eventually lead us into heaven. It's quite a glorious sign. So. Have you read my book, Angelic Attendants, yet, Anna?
I actually just downloaded that today, so
great.
I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I think my reason to call today was mostly for a confirmation. We lost our son a year and a half ago, and since then I've been doing a lot of work on trying to communicate with him and stuff. And the last 2 days, I use a pendulum, and the last 2 days I've gotten things from my son or my mom telling me that Pat was coming home.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess I just was looking for some confirmation since I'm such a newbie at this, but still a little.
Yeah. Did you hear what I was saying to Sarah about you say something to whomever?
Yeah.
Whether it's your son, you can communicate with Pat telepathically. His spirit's still connected to his body. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just all energy.
Okay.
And you say something to them, either aloud or in your head, Anna, and then boom, their answer's going to come in within a second before you can even snap your fingers. It's really.
Yeah, I've learned to listen to that.
Fast. Yeah.
With my son,
and then so many of us doubt what we get, and there's no reason to doubt it. I mean, it comes in boom within a second. And then if you need more information, ask something that's maybe more specific, or ask a question, or ask for clarification, and they'll talk to you. But again, share these drawings, share the book with Pat's family, because it's going to help bring them comfort. And I hear that over and over again from families who have a loved one who's dying, how much these graphics help just bring a glorious component to such a heart-wrenching situation.
No, And I know that he will be better off. I know that it's a better, thing for him and all of that. It's just hearing it, confirming it for me is,
Yeah.
So
Right.
I do appreciate it.
Okay. Hang in there. Thanks for calling.
I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Julie. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to Miss Amy next. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Thanks for taking me.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm kind of weird space, but no, it's always, and your show lifts me up, so thank you.
You're welcome. I hear people tell me that all the time, Amy. It's really cute. They'll say, I can be in a really bad mood, and I just have your show playing in the background, and I'm not even paying attention to what you're saying or what your guests are saying, but it just makes me feel better. And it's because I'm so cranked up with a high vibration, to be able to scan people all over the world, actually, that's why it feels good. Because you're resonating with the high vibration. So please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
San Diego.
Okay. You got a question for me?
Yeah, this is kind of a weird one because in 2012 I lost my ex-husband. He died. And I think I need to clear this because I've always wanted us to get back together, and he got married and I missed him, and then I found out this happened, and it was just really, it's like post-traumatic stress disorder in me, I believe. I really believe that because I haven't gotten over this. So I don't know if you can tap into him and find out if there's anything to do with him, or does that make sense?
You mean like have a date with a dead person?
Yeah, like can you contact him and ask, what the heck happened?
Between the two of you?
Yeah, or why he decided to die. Why did he do that?
Okay. Yeah, I can ask him. I was kidding when I said have a date with a dead person. You didn't laugh. And I thought, she's taking me seriously. I was trying to be funny there. I guess it didn't go over. I know how comedians feel when they have a joke that drops. Okay. So what's his name, Amy?
His name is John.
John. All right. So he's standing right next to you. When we think of them, our heads are like big satellite dishes, and every spirit has their own frequency, Amy. And so they know we're talking about them, or thinking about them, so they come in right away. So your question for John.
Why did you kill yourself?
He was done. He said, I was done. I was ready to go.
Were you upset with me?
He said, what came into my head was you are not part of the equation.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, John. Is there anything I could do?
Just live your life, be happy, think of the good times is what he's saying. Let go of the bad times, move forward, and live your life. He's saying, and live your life. Again, he's saying he's around you a lot. He's saying, just talk to him. I know you've heard me talk to our other callers, but you know how to do that. You've listened to the show. So you just say something in your head or aloud, and he'll answer you within a second.
Okay, and then just to round it up, do I have post-traumatic stress disorder with this?
Yes, you do. That came in before your question was even out. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean, or am I taking up too much of your time? Can you give me thank you?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, if you can give me how you give that energy and help fix things.
Yeah.
Can you give me
I think what I'm getting, Amy, on this is to talk to a licensed professional about this, because there's stuff they can do to help you release this. In the meantime, I'll do it energetically. But I think it makes sense for you to talk to a counselor who specializes in PTSD. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Julie.
Take care. You bet. Bye-bye. Okay, let's see who's next. I believe it's Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary.
This is EJ.
Hi, EJ. 940 area code?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good. My screen says Mary, so I guess you morphed.
That might have been my sister's number.
Okay. Well, terrific. Where are you calling from, EJ?
Arlington, Texas.
All right. Terrific. You got a question for me?
Yes, ma'am. In February, I lost my toy poodle. He was 15 and a half. In the middle of the night, he had a seizure, and the vet said that she felt he probably, due to his age and his health issues that he already had a brain tumor.
Oh, no.
And about...
EJ, I'm going to need to hold you over for the break. We will be right back. We're going to take a quick break. Everybody, you're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan show, so stay with us. Everybody, to the Ask Julie Ryan show. Let's go back to the phones, and I believe our next caller is Ellen. Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Montreal, Canada.
Oh, terrific. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. How may I help you?
I'm calling about my dad, who suffered a brain injury a year ago, and I guess I'm calling about a number of different things. He has a history of a lot of anxiety, back pain, heart and stomach problems. He's really resistant and kind of seemingly incapable of following directions or helping himself. He's really, really impulsive. And some of these things are like symptoms from the brain accident, and other things were there before. So like my family, it's hard on my mom. We sometimes, before the accident, were wondering about dementia, with the impulsiveness and kind of inappropriateness. And I just wondered if you could do a scan and see if there's anything that might help.
Sure. What's his name, Ellen?
Benny.
Benny. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook into you and then from you to your dad. And then I'll ask his permission, Ellen, if I can scan him. And he'll say yes or no. If he says no, then I won't. But we can still talk to his spirit and get some information. If he says yes, then I will. The reason why I'm so adamant about that, Ellen, is because I believe it's an invasion of privacy for me to scan somebody that doesn't want to be scanned, number one. But I don't have a problem talking to his spirit, excuse me, because it's kind of like if somebody has pneumonia and you're talking to them about their symptoms, they're going to tell you what they want, but it's not like you're looking at his x-rays without his permission. That's how I see it anyways. So here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to you in Montreal. And all right, got you heading to your dad. Benny, got your dad. Benny, I'm talking to Ellen. Yes, I know it's fine. Wow. Okay. There we go. He gave me permission. Does that surprise you?
Not really, no.
Okay, good. It surprises me. I thought he was going to say no. So, all right. What I'm doing is I'm shooting energy from his feet up through the top of his head. I have a hologram of him in my mind's eye, Ellen, and I'm really descriptive about what I'm seeing during a scan and a healing because you're going to help me with this. You and I are going to tag team him. And if I was talking to him directly, I'm really descriptive because if we can envision what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, it's going to help integrate the healing into his body. His head is full of scar tissue. So I'm going to remove it out of his head. Brain matter to me, Ellen, looks like thick cooked oatmeal, like porridge or oatmeal. And scar tissue looks like chicken cartilage, the kind that you'd see in a chicken breast with the bone in, that white bendable stuff that you'd see in a chicken breast. And so I'm scooping out the scar tissue. He's got a bunch of it in his head. He was in a bad accident, huh? Or maybe did he play sports or something too? I mean, is this all?
No, he was in a bad car accident.
Bad car accident. Yeah, I can see that. All right. So I'm removing it, and it's almost like the back of his head. It's like the whole back half of his brain has a bunch of scar tissue in it. So almost like if I took a football helmet and I sawed it in half, horizontally, like where the ears go. That's the part that I'm removing right now. And then I'm using stem cell energy to regenerate brain matter. And stem cell energy, Ellen, looks like a light amber colored gel. It has sparkles in it, of course, because it's woo-woo. Got to have sparkles if you're doing woo-woo. And it has a watery consistency to it. So I'm filling that area that I removed the scar tissue. Imagine if you had a bowl of oatmeal and you were scooping a big spoonful out, it'd leave a divot in the oatmeal. And so that's what it looks like. So I'm putting stem cell energy in there. And this is the absolute coolest stuff, Ellen, because it'll regenerate whatever body part we need. And in this case, it's brain matter. I have seen it regenerate whole organs before and had doctors call me and say, all right, what are you doing with my patient and how's this stuff work? So while I'm talking, I'm watching the healing happen. Good thing we're girls, right? We can multitask. So let me do that. Oh, you know what? I just realized I was supposed to come back to EJ. EJ, I haven't forgotten you. I'll come back to you. Sorry about that. So, speaking of multitasking, all right. So doing that. Okay. So there's a vortex that's spinning above his head, and it looks like a funnel cloud, like a tornado spinning, and that transforms the stem cell energy into new brain matter. So doing that, and okay, it lights up his neural pathways. There's lots of research out there, Ellen, about diet and how it affects brain injury. So there's a book called Why We Get Sick. There are lots of other books out there that can help. Why We Get Sick, fast carbs, slow carbs, basically low carb diet, keep his sugar levels really low. Don't give him processed stuff. Give him stuff low on the food chain. Lots of omega-3s. Lots of good fats.
Okay, and he's obsessive about food. Yeah. And he's more obsessive since the accident. So he actually, you can't tell him what to eat by any stretch of the imagination. So is there any is there anything that you can suggest to help with that, with the resistance, or with
let him read or listen to Why We Get Sick, and let him make that decision.
Okay.
And then that will I think help a lot. Why We Get Sick by Benjamin Bickman, Bikman. It's in audiobook and in regular paperback, I believe, and hardcover. And can he read and absorb, your dad?
Not really, no. The audiobook might be possible, but he gets overwhelmed pretty quickly and pretty distracted. So,
well, maybe the audiobook in phases. You can do that with him, and that will help. And in the meantime, just remember that his behavior is because his brain isn't right. And you guys know that. That doesn't make it any easier to deal with. I know, but yeah. So does he live with you?
And I just if you have time, I just wondered about his heart and his stomach.
Okay. Well, I'm going to need to go to break. I'm going to need to go to break, Ellen, and thanks so much for calling. Hopefully that'll help. Everybody, you're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan show. EJ, I'm going to pick you up on the other side of the break, so hang in there. My apologies for that. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ask Julie Ryan show, and we're going to go back to the phones, and I've got EJ. EJ, thank you for your patience. My apologies. I was talking to Ellen, and I thought, oh my God, I forgot to come back to EJ. So thank you so much for your patience and hanging in there.
Thank you for getting back to me.
You're welcome.
I was saying, my toy poodle Mo passed in February, and it just, he broke my heart. He was 15 and a half, and he had a really bad seizure in the middle of the night when he was in bed with me, and we rushed him to the vet, and of course they couldn't do anything. But then about a month later, in March, my best friend Lisa found a Jack Russell on a rescue site, and it's kind of funny because his name was Kevin, and they had a bow tie on him. And I've had poodles for 30 years, or poodle mixes, and so I was like, I don't know. But I put my paperwork in, and they approved me to adopt him, and he came to live with us. And we of course, we don't know his story, but he reminds me of a toddler so much because he just wants to be cuddled and loved, and we just wonder, what his story is. How did he wind up in a shelter? He wound up in a shelter south of Dallas, several 100 miles or so away, but then he wound up in a Jack Russell rescue up here in the DFW area, and he's just, I miss my Mo boy terribly, and one of the questions I was wondering is if you might be able to see if Mo's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the baby's name? What's the Jack Russell's name?
His name, well, we changed it to Buster Brown.
Cute. How cute is that?
He is Buster Brown. He's about 3 years old.
I remember Buster Brown's shoes. They used to have little kid shoes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
4 hours after he came to live at the house with us, he squeezed between the wrought iron gate and went running down the road, and I just yelled out, "Buster, you get over here!" And it just stuck. I decided his name had to be Buster Brown.
Oh, how cute is that? So are you getting used to having a dog that sheds after those poodles? That's what I'm thinking.
All over the place.
I know. My brother had a Jack Russell. I was like, holy Moses, how can this short-haired dog have so much hair?
Yeah, you look at him and he just goes poof.
Yeah, I know. Our late dog Katie was half German Shepherd, half Keeshond, and a bunch of the rugs in our house have black backgrounds when we built this house. And I thought, what the heck was I thinking? It was just hair everywhere with her, but we loved her. All right. So who do you want to connect with first, Mo or Buster?
Mo.
Okay, Mo. Mo's around you all the time. Mo says you feel like you hear him.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. He's saying you are. When you think you hear him, you are. He thinks this baby's really cute. He thinks Buster's really cute. He said he's snuggly, but he says he's very busy. Is that true?
Very busy. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Very
That's
busy.
what Mo's saying. Very busy. And does he have a blanket that he likes to carry he likes to drag it in his mouth?
No, but he has a special toy. I call it the Ninja Lamb. It's an old, Sherry Lewis lamb chop.
Yeah.
Lamb. It's a stuffed lamb, and we play Ninja Lamb in the mornings, and he drags that around with him.
Yeah, I see fabric. That would make sense. That's what I'm seeing, is him dragging fabric around. He's great. He's around you all the time. Mo's around you all the time. So we were just talking about shedding. He's saying keep one of those roller brushes around to keep the hair off of your clothing, but he's, I'm sure, worth it. Okay, did you have a question for Buster?
Yes. I wonder where did he come from? What happened? How did he wind up in a shelter? I'm worried that maybe the people that might have had him miss him, and they don't know what happened to him.
What he's saying is that he was in a home, but they lost their job and they couldn't take care of him.
Oh.
So they took him to the shelter. Yeah. So, and I'm hearing that a lot. My daughter-in-law is a vet, EJ, and she tells me that is happening more than we have any idea. And that I didn't know that they have kind of this shipping deal where they move dogs all around the country to different shelters that need dogs, which is pretty amazing. But he's saying that he came from a good home, but that they lost their job and they couldn't afford to keep him anymore.
Okay. We wondered, because he's house trained. He's lovable. He's we've taught him how to sit. He doesn't sit very long, but we've taught him how to sit. And like I said, I believe with all my heart that he was a toddler in another life, because he acts like a toddler, like he needs to be held and he needs to be loved. And when he gets every morning, he puts his paws on my shoulder and lays his head on me, and and he does that with my best friend and my sister, and he's just the most loving little guy.
Well, he's just so grateful that he's in a good home. So, and I find that with shelter dogs, that they're so grateful. Most of them, it's like they're just saying, "Oh, thank you for taking care of me," and all that. So we'll enjoy him, and thanks so much for hanging in there with me, and thanks so much for calling this evening.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Sylvia next. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Julie. Thank you
so
much
girl?
for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
Please tell everybody where you're located.
Oh, I am located in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, terrific. Well, you got a question for me?
I do. I'm actually calling about my brother. I have two siblings, and I'm calling about the middle child. He's just for decades constantly complaining about stomach issues, just acid and can't digest food well. And of course, he's been to so many doctors, gastro after gastro. They've done all the tests, the colonoscopies and this and all that. And he's modified diets. He's just ad nauseum, just drives everybody crazy. But I just don't think it's in his mind. Maybe they missed something. So I was hoping you can do a medical scan and see if you see anything.
Sure, absolutely. I will get him on my radar. And how that works is I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham. It's going to hook into you in Brooklyn, got you, and then go into your brother. What's your brother's name?
Mario.
Mario. Okay. Why is some Mario and some Mario? Does that depend on...
Depends where you're from. The New York
where you're
accent,
from, that dialect.
Yeah.
It's like tomato kind of a thing.
Right, exactly.
Sylvia, am I on a speakerphone by any chance? Can you get me off speaker if I'm on speaker? Okay.
I'm on speaker.
Okay, great. Well, Mario, I'm talking to your sister. Is it okay if I scan you? No. Boy, that came in before the question was even out. Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. So we can ask him some questions, though, what I was mentioning earlier, that, if somebody doesn't want me to scan him, I won't, but we can ask him questions. Okay. So, Mario, what is causing, I'm thinking yeast overgrowth. That's normally what causes heartburn or acid reflux or indigestion and all of that stuff. So that's what I'm getting. Has he been on antibiotics or steroids that you know of?
Lately, very recent, yes, because he had some procedure, a nominal thing done to his head, and it's temporary. But I'm going way back. This is even before this. That's probably what you're reading right now, because that's what's happening right now. But I just wanted to help him out. I hear about it all the time, and I just wanted to know if the doctors didn't see anything. If this is
I believe he's got a yeast overgrowth, Sylvia, and that doesn't really show up on tests, and doctors really don't know to treat it. But if you Google Candida, Candida, Candida yeast overgrowth, you'll get lots of information on it. And the medicine that he wants to get is called nystatin, Nystatin, nystatin. It's an antifungal that kills yeast on contact, and it will knock this out in short order. If is he on some kind of medicine like Prilosec or something like that that's supposed to reduce acid? Good, because oftentimes those from what I've heard and read can reduce the stomach acid too much, and then it causes other problems with digestion. But Google Candida overgrowth, and you can Google nystatin as well. Something interesting about nystatin, some doctors are reluctant to prescribe it, Sylvia, because they believe that it can cause liver problems, and that has been debunked. And so if you Google nystatin, NIH, the acronym for National Institutes of Health, it will talk about that that information is false, and nystatin is just fine.
Great.
So thanks for calling, Sylvia. I hope that helps. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back, everybody. Just wanted to remind you, we do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-775-7035, and the access code is 483-620-pound. Now, this information is available on my website at AskJulieRyan.com and in the show notes. You can download the show anywhere you get your podcasts, and we're also on YouTube and Alexa. Please remember to subscribe and leave a review. And it's really easy. Just go to ratethispodcast.com/Julie. ratethispodcast.com/Julie. I would really appreciate if you would leave a 5-star review, and that also is going to help you be considered to win a free session with me, like I announced earlier in the show. Call-in details can also be found each week on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. We'll always post a reminder to call into the show on the day of the show. And if I'm not doing a show, then I will post that as well, so you'll know not to call in. But if I'm not going to do a live show, we'll pre-record one, so you'll still be able to download and listen. While you're on Ask Julie Ryan, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter. It's a question somebody submitted online along with my answer, and you can also schedule an appointment when you're there, and then we'll have a whole hour to talk about whatever you want to discuss, as many topics as you want to discuss. So we can talk to your dead grandma, I can scan your cat, I can scan you, we can do past life stuff, we can tell how close to death somebody is. It's just endless. Past lives are really fun. We have a lot of fun with that because oftentimes we can find information that corroborates the details that we get from spirit. So everything you need to know is at AskJulieRyan.com. One other thing, when you're scheduling an appointment, go ahead and get on my calendar and then periodically click on the reschedule button at the bottom of your confirmation email. You'll always get a confirmation email when an appointment is scheduled. And then that's going to show you dates and times that become available if they're earlier. I think I've had 3 people reschedule just in the last 24 hours, and one of them was for Monday. So somebody saw that, and they rescheduled their appointment from February to Monday, coming up on the 9th. So just click on that reschedule button, and you may see somebody has rescheduled. That happens all the time. All right, our question this week is from Megan, and Megan lives in Lake Oswego, Oregon. And she said, "Hi, Julie. I was turned on to you from Dr. Christiane Northrup. Yay!" With 3 exclamation points she put after yay. She went on to say, I've had an insulin resistance issue for about the last 3 to 4 years, have gained over 30 pounds, and am frustrated. I feel like I just keep gaining. Help, in all caps. Thanks, Megan. And here's my response. Hi, Megan. Thanks for your question. It applies to many of us, most of whom aren't even aware it exists, let alone affects us personally. In fact, Benjamin Bickman, PhD, a biomedical scientist at Brigham Young University and one of the world's foremost scientists on metabolic health and insulin resistance, claims that up to 80% of us are insulin resistant. He also believes insulin resistance is the cause of many major diseases, including cancer, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. In his book, Why We Get Sick, The Hidden Epidemic at the Root of Most Chronic Disease and How to Fight It, Dr. Bickman combines his research with lots of other published data supporting the opinion we need to be checking insulin levels. Now, you're going to have to specifically ask your doctor to test insulin instead of glucose levels. And he says, and we need to eat a low-carb diet. He also suggests making sure to get some form of exercise and a decent amount of sleep each night. Now, I know this sounds easier than it is, so just take baby steps. Perhaps you can go to bed a bit earlier, and when you've mastered that, focus on substituting a sugary or refined food for something that's healthier and also tastes good. We're not going to eat stuff that tastes bad, you guys, even if it's healthy. So find something that's healthy that you like. I find delicious low-carb recipes at Nom Nom, and it's spelled GNOM-GNOM. And they have great recipes on there. I am not much of a chef. In my next life, I'm going to hire a chef. But I see these different, especially baked goods, that they have recipes on there, and I just think, oh, that looks so amazing. And I have tried some of their things, and everything I've tried is really good. So Nom Nom. As for the exercise part of the equation, find an activity you enjoy and schedule time to do it. Something as simple as taking a walk, especially outside, will help you both physically and mentally. So Megan from Oregon, thanks so much for your question. I think it's one that can help a lot of us. And you've heard me mention Why We Get Sick, the book Why We Get Sick. I just read it about 6 weeks ago, and it's a game changer. It was for me, and I think it will be for you as well. So Dr. Bickman, Why We Get Sick. Okay, let's go back to the phones, and our next caller is Kayla. Hi, Kayla.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. Where are you located?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Okay, terrific. You got a question for me?
I was just wondering if you could just do a quick scan.
Yeah, what's going on?
I've been dealing with random, what the doctors say is allergic reactions. I literally get, it's like the size of almost, I'd say close to a baseball. They just pop out of my arms and stuff. They're actually hives. But the thing is, it's always random, and it's never, anything is never the same when it happens. I never eat anything the same, drink anything the same. So I was just wondering if you could hopefully give some insight into it.
Yeah, absolutely. My goodness. Well, that makes it interesting, isn't it? When you can't figure out if it's like something in particular that's causing it. Just sounds like you're in an immune response and a kind of a heightened immune response to any little stimulus. All right, so here we go. Here comes my laser beam. Heading from Alabama, heading up to you in Pennsylvania, the Keystone State, right? Isn't that what you guys call it? All right, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you're really inflamed. So inflammation looks like red fog on body parts to me, Kayla. And am I saying your name right? Is it Kayla or Kyla? How do you pronounce it?
Nope, you're saying it right.
Okay. All right. I'm going to need to take a quick break, Kayla. So hang with me. I'm going to pick you up on the other side. In the meantime, I'll scan you. Talk to you in a few minutes, everybody. Stay with us. Welcome back. We were talking with Kayla in Pennsylvania about her random allergic reaction in the form of big old hives before we went to the break. So, Kayla, I checked on you over the break, and talk to me about, have you been on antibiotics or steroids? Have you been exposed to mold? Any of those things going on?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing yeast overgrowth in your system, and it's a lot of it. It looks like if we mixed, we're coming up on Thanksgiving. When you're making gravy, you mix flour and water together to get a roux before you put the pan drippings in. You've got so much of it that it just looks like that. It looks like a paste in your GI tract. So shoot me an email, julie@askjulieryan.com. I'm going to send you a link to get a gut biome test done. That would be the first thing I would suggest. That's going to tell you what the status of your gut is, and that's where our immune system's based. And based on that, it's going to give you, here are your superfoods, here are the foods for you to avoid, here's everything else. Eat this a lot, eat this a little. Some of the foods that you eat because you think they're healthy, they may very well be healthy, but they're just not healthy for you. So let's do the Kayla diet right off the bat, number one. And then number two, what I was talking about before was Sylvia from Brooklyn for her brother, nystatin, as an antifungal that kills yeast on contact. It stays in the GI tract. It doesn't have any known side effects, and you want to get some of that. Has this been going on for a long time?
It recently just started, I'd say, like 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. And has anything changed during that time? Did you have any surgeries? Were you on any antibiotics? Were you sick before then? Anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Not
Did you
that I
have a
can
mold
recall.
issue in your home?
Not that I know of.
Or in your office, maybe, where you work?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right. Those are usually the things that cause it. You got a really good case of it. So something like that, my guess is, if you haven't been on any antibiotics or steroids or other kinds of medication, that you've been exposed to some mold someplace.
Okay.
And just weren't aware of it. So shoot me an email, julie@askjulieryan.com. In the meantime, I cleared it out of your system. Google Candida overgrowth, and you'll learn a lot on it. And I think some of the symptoms will resonate with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for calling. I hope you feel better.
Thank you so much.
You bet. You bet. All right. Let's go to Joan next. Hi, Joan. Hi, Joan. Hello, hello. Do you have yourself on mute on your phone?
Hello?
There you are. Hi.
Hi. I don't know if you can answer this or not, but recently I've been thinking about living in some kind of community, especially due to COVID. I live alone. It's really isolating, and I'm not sure, I can't quite figure out what kind of a community it would be, but I had an intuitive tell me that my father from the other side claimed that I was going to go northwest and that he was going to help me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if you see anything. This guy mentioned like around San Francisco or Washington State.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which
please tell everybody
like
where you're.
Climate for me.
Yeah. Please tell everybody where you're located first of all.
I'm in San Luis Obispo, California.
Okay. All right. Which is in the middle part of California.
Yeah, it's
really kind of
centrally located. Yeah.
Yeah, central on the coast. Hearst Castle territory, right?
Yeah. Not far from there.
Okay, so is it in Joan's best interest to stay in San Luis Obispo this time in her life? I got a no on that. There you go. We're asking the spirits and beyond. As my son used to say when he was little, Mommy asked the spirits and beyond. So is it in? So let's just check this out. Is it in Joan's best interest to move to the San Francisco Bay Area? I got to know. Is it in Joan's best interest to move to Washington State, I get a yes. No state income tax. That'll be a nice change for you coming from California. And from what I understand, there's no sales tax in Oregon and there's no state income tax in Washington. So people live kind of close to the border. So they shop in Oregon and then they live in Washington and they get the best of both worlds. The Seattle area, no. Tacoma, yes. Oh, there you go. The Tacoma area. Yeah.
It seems like the opposite climate of what I need because I'm here for the climate, but I can't figure out. Okay, I'll just try to find.
Well, that's what we're getting right now. Keep in mind, everything in the future is fluid. There are a bazillion variables that can come in to affect an outcome. And so we get Tacoma today, we might get, I don't know, Walla Walla next week in Washington. But Tacoma at this point, the way that I see guidance happen, Joan, is you take a step forward and then it's going to lead you to another step and another step, kind of like when you get on a website and then it leads you to another website. Before long, you're 6 websites out from where you first went. And you think, how in the heck did I get here? But that's how it works. That's how guidance works. And as long as it still feels good, go with it. If it ever feels bad, that's your spirit telling you you're out of alignment. All right, regroup, look at it from a different perspective.
Is there any indication about timing on this?
I get next 6 months right now.
To leave in 6 months?
I get that right now what I'm getting is that it's a good time for you to think about leaving within the next 6 months.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And when you say moving to a community, you're going to laugh when I tell you this. The first thing I think of is, what are you going to join a convent? I think of a community of nuns.
I knew you were going to say that. I actually went to 12 years of Catholic school, so and I was just big time Irish Catholic, and I'd like to live in some kind of community. This is hard to define. It's like all ages. Not just old people all the time, which is what I'm in now. Not that I'm that young, but I don't know what this looks like. It's really kind of amorphous right now. But I just feel like maybe I should consider leaving here, which I never thought I would say that. But COVID has kind of changed everything, and then I'm wondering if I should make a change.
Well, that's what I'm getting right now. And just take one step at a time. I think when we think too far in the future, we get paralyzed with fear because there's no way we can know what all the variables are going to be that are going to come into play to affect an outcome. And that's why we get paralyzed and then we don't do anything. So just take a step. Do it online. Start looking around. See what's up there. And you're going to be led to where you're supposed to go and trust that everything's going to unfold perfectly. And it will. So let us know what happens. Let us know what you decide and where you end up.
Thank you. This is really helpful.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
All righty. Let's go to Christine. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Melda.
Hi. It says Christine.
Yes, I don't know how you got Christine, but anyway,
that's your daughter.
It's me. I just got out of surgery today.
Oh no! For what?
For my rotator cuff.
Oh my gosh! How are you feeling?
Great, actually.
Because you got a block. You got a block that's still in place.
Yes,
we'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, honey, tell everybody where you're calling in from, please.
I'm calling from the Bay Area.
Yeah, the San Francisco Bay Area, for those of you that don't know what that means.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
We just get so lazy in how we talk.
That's
anyway,
okay.
Everything went really well. They put me on vancomycin. Right. And I got a huge reaction to it, so they just stopped.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, that's just an antibiotic. They're just doing that prophylactically to make sure you don't. So I'll just put a lot of antibiotic energy on you, and then it's not going to be not going to be an issue. Okay.
So I
Did
just
you
thought
have
you could do a scan and give me all that good energy
Yeah.
so my shoulder will heal.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. Everybody, Melda is very dear to me because, gosh, Melda, how long ago? 10, 15 years ago, something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
14
mom
years.
died, and a friend of hers, and there's a whole chapter in my book about Miss Jean. A friend of Melda's suggested that we talk, and so Melda and I worked together when her mom was dying in Iowa, right, Melda? Isn't that where she
Yeah.
lived?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, my gosh, we go back a long way, long before there was ever a book or an Ask Julie Ryan.
No, such wonderful times we've had.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm working on your shoulder. You're golden. Just behave. Don't do anything crazy.
Okay.
Are you going to stay with your daughter? Is she going to take care of you?
No, actually, my sister, who is a nurse, is here for 4 days.
Oh, wonderful.
So I've got the best of best.
Wonderful. Are you in one of those crazy slings where it keeps your elbow out kind of at a 45-degree angle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will zap on you at the break and you heal fast. Thanks for calling in. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more callers. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go to the phones again. And I've got a caller from Glenview, 224 area code. Hi, what's your name? Hi. What's your name? I can hear the background noise. Okay. Well, let's go to, looks like Meg. Hi, Meg.
Hi, it's Megan. Am I on?
Hi, Megan. Yes, you are. Hi.
Julie. I talked to you like a month or two ago during the fires up here in Oregon.
Yes. How are things? Are you all back to normal?
Things have calmed down here with that. Yeah. So that's
good. Good.
I'm calling
thank you,
for
God.
two reasons. My daughter was in a car accident about 3 weeks or a month ago and had a concussion, and so I wanted to see if you could kind of scan her and clear away things. And then my elderly mother, I got a call from her care facility yesterday saying that she was very confused and had been hearing radio sounds at 3 a.m. every night, and so she's having auditory hallucinations. So I wanted to have you tap in on that as well.
Yeah, sure. Who do you want me to do first?
How about my daughter, Chloe?
Okay, Chloe. Megan, please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
I'm in Lake Oswego, Oregon, which is right outside of Portland.
Okay, terrific. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam up to you, and then from you, I'm going to go to Chloe. All right, got Chloe. Chloe, I'm talking to your mom. Is it okay if I scan you energetically? Yes, good job. I don't know if you set that up, but she gave me a yes.
I'm shocked. Last time she said no.
All right, well.
Okay, good.
You just never know. Okay, so I'm just going to go right to her head and see what we've got going on. All right, I'm seeing scar tissue. If I divided her head into quarters, Megan, it's the back left quarter is where I'm seeing the most scar tissue. It doesn't mean necessarily that she hit her head there. It means that's where the brain slammed up against the bony skull. At least that's what's showing up first. I'm going to do her whole head. You may have heard me earlier. I was talking with another caller about, I believe it was Ellen from Montreal, and brain matter looks like thick cooked oatmeal to me, and scar tissue looks like chicken cartilage that you'd find in a chicken breast with the bone in. So I'm scooping out the scar tissue, and then I'm putting stem cell energy in the divot of the brain matter, that oatmeal-like consistency, and then that's going to regenerate brain matter. The reason why I always remove scar tissue, and it's interesting, Megan, when scar tissue shows up in somebody's head, I always remove it because it's very apparent when somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's, there's lots of scar tissue in their head. And we can remove it and regenerate the brain matter because when there's scar tissue there, it occludes neural pathways. And and that's when problems come to be a situation with somebody that's had concussions or brain injuries. I work with a lot of athletes, college, pro, and even high school kids. And oh my goodness, what they talk about with the football and the soccer and the rugby and all of that with the brain injury. So, all right, while I'm talking, I'm watching the healing happen. I'm a girl, so I can multitask. It's one of our superpowers. So my husband rolls his eyes when I say that, but he knows I'm right. Okay, so got that coming around to the left side of her head. She's got some in the front too, on the left side. Did she hit her head or just
slammed into a cement wall, and she was in the passenger side, and she's the only one that had the concussion. So it hit it hit her corner of the car.
Yes,
so
it did.
She took the most impact. Yeah.
That would make sense if the impact was on the left side and it slammed her brain, over to the other side. All right, so I'm getting that removed. How's she doing now? How's she feeling?
She seems to be okay. I did take her in to have a little cranial and, a full chiropractic treatment, which she tolerated. She doesn't want to go back, but hopefully we got a little bit in one session, and I'm going to try and talk her into going back at some point.
All right. I want you to go on a website and read about traumatic brain injuries, TBIs, and it's called Amen Clinics, CLINICS.com, amenclinics.com, and look up concussion brain injury. They've got a protocol on there. What you want to get her is what's called a SPECT scan, SPECT, and that's going to show the parts of the brain that are lighting up, because CT scans only show the structure of the brain. And with a concussion, you want to be sure that the parts of the brain for different functions are lighting up. I think their closest center, you're kind of between a couple. They've got one in the Bay Area and they've got one in Seattle, I believe, in the Seattle area. So amenclinics.com. I know they treat with a lot of omega-3s and a lot of good fats, olive oil, salmon, wild salmon, avocado, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, she's got a bunch of it on the right side of her head too. While I'm talking, I'm scooping that out. Stem cell energy's going in. And then there's a vortex that forms above the head, and that's what transforms the stem cell energy into new brain matter. And all right, that's almost done regenerating. Okay, just finished. Laser beams light up in her head. They represent neural pathways. Have you ever seen a movie where there's a security system in a museum and the thief that's trying to steal the painting has to get through the laser beam security system? That's what neural pathways look like in the brain to me. Hers are lit up again. I would still get her checked and read about the protocol. Another place to go, if you go to bulletproof.com, bulletproof.com is Dave Asprey's site. Do a search on there for concussions, and he's got a protocol on there too, because he's had a couple of concussions, and he talks about that as well. Okay. As far as your mama goes, let me get your mom on what's her name? What's your mom's first name?
It's Betsy.
Betsy. All right. So I'm connecting from you to Betsy. All right, got Betsy. Betsy's in phase 2 of 12. Of the 12 phases of transition, Megan. I don't know.
Okay, she was in 0 when we talked 2 months ago. So I had this intuition that something's shifting.
Yeah. Phase 2, you can see it on my website, AskJulieRyan.com.
Yeah.
And just look for the miracles as you're going through this with her. Thanks for calling, Megan. Everybody, thanks for listening. To those of you that called in this evening, thanks for taking the time. Have a great week, everybody.
Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan, and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.